Hello, everyone. Welcome to a little impromptu reading because I was just browsing YouTube and angels aren't really my forte, but because of what came up in the conversation with Gwyn Appleneath yesterday and then the subsequent extended reading, a YouTube video that popped up in my feed caught my attention. And it is not normally the sort of thing that I would watch. And the video was by a lady called Lorna Byrne. She is, I believe she's an Irish Catholic, and she sees and talks to angels. I believe she's been on Emilio Ortiz's Just Tap In podcast and things like that. Anyway, um, for some reason, I thought, oh, I'll watch that video. It was called Rare for Archangels or something. Anyway, within a few minutes of watching this video, she started to talk about how Archangel Gabriel and Archangel Michael appear to her in bike leathers as bikers, not white bike leathers, full black bike leathers and helmet, normal bike leathers and helmet. Um, and they both have appeared like that. And of course, me being me and what I'm interested in, this immediately got my attention because I immediately thought Gwyn ap Nuith, the Dark Rider of Glastonbury Tor, the Dark Man. This is exactly how Gwyn appears. And we've previously had a conversation with Gwyn where he said that the Dark Man of the Tor is not always him. Sometimes it's Gwion, who we also know as Taliesin. Um, and so that this video by Lorna Byrne raised so many questions for me. I was like, well, does that mean the Dark Man of the Tor is the Dark Rider is an angel? And or does that mean angels are just like the Dark Rider? Or are they the same or different? Or is the Dark Man and the Dark Rider not the same thing? Because the question that Gwyn answered when he said it was him and Gwion was the Dark Man. I hadn't asked about the Dark Rider. And there's many if you go online, there's lots of stories about the Dark Rider appearing to people, um, walking with other ghosts that have appeared, very much like a psychopomp or a threshold being beside rivers, but most famously on Glastonbury Tor. And so this angels appearing as dark riders just blew my mind. And I had to come and ask and do a reading. So here we are. Right, I've got some questions. Let's ask. Gwyn is here, so he might chip in. He's not very he's not very keen on me doing this one. I'm not sure why. I think I don't know. I don't know why actually. But anyway, we might find out, or the cards might not even want to talk about it. So we shall see. I don't even know what cards to start with. I have got the cards I'm using are the Mary Magdalene Oracle. That is the nearest I've got to anything with angels in, I believe. The Mists of Avalon Oracle. Um, the Magical Hours Tarot because it's my new favorite, and the Radiant Tarot because that's something I use with when I'm working with Gwyn a lot. And just as a little aside, when I was picking up the Magdalene Oracle book to show you, I realized that I'd left a card out of the deck. I've got on my desk, and it was stuck to the thing. And that's obviously nothing happens by accident in a reading. And this card is the first power. Darkness makes vision possible. And there is Mary with her heart ablaze, fully awakened, living from her heart center. And this is exactly what we were talking about yesterday, wasn't it? About how Gwyn was saying how dark beings aren't necessarily of the true darkness, they are actually of the light and helping you. Um, and and this is exactly what this card says. Um, I think Gwyn is concerned about us doing this reading because he thinks that we might start to think that he's dark. I've got a feeling what some of the answers are going to be, but I've reassured him that, that's not what we think. We've had conversations about it. We understand the difference between the dark that works for the light and the true dark. And they feel very different as well, even though they can sometimes give us a fright, which I know Gwyn has done to several people on Glastonbury Tour. But I think that's just his sense of humour because he does like to play tricks on people at Glastonbury Tour. He's a bit of a joker sometimes, does it for sport. Right, okay, so let's go. Which card should we use first? Radiant Tarot want to be used first. Okay, let's give him a shuffle because I haven't yet. Right. Lorna Byrne and her assertion that Archangel Gabriel and Archangel Michael appear as dark riders to her. What have we got? The Page of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. Now this card, the Knight of Pentacles in this deck, that is my card for Gwyn ap Nuith. And that is exactly where I was going with this. And there's the path of awakening, the fiery new start, news that grows about Gwyn ap Nuith. Right. This is what I suspected would happen. Um, right. Okay. So the question I want to ask, they just flew out. The question I want to ask, I'm going to leave them out, is are the angels appearing in bike leathers and helmets the same beings that appear as the dark man, no, the dark rider, specifically the one at Glastonbury Tour? That's interesting. So we've got the Eight of Wands, which can be conflict, clashing, or it can be, in this deck, it can be a fiery creative spark, a bit like the Knight of Wands. This is almost like the moment of creation. And then we've got death, transformation, and rebirth. Then we've got the Six of Swords, but the other way up. So this can be being trapped. And then we've got the Ace of Swords, which is not true. So what we've got here is a fiery creative force. Death and rebirth could be purgatory. I don't know why that's come into my mind. Penance, Gwyn is saying, which in a way was some of the duties he had were penance. Being trapped, and something not being true. So I would say that the angels that appear of bikers are not the same as the Dark Rider that appears as a biker. And the underlying card was balance and justice, the dark and the light. So they're not the same, but there is this sense of they were both created at the same time. There's this fiery, a conflict that created something. So it's almost like the angels who appear as bikers. Well, I'm assuming the angels, I'm not going to assume. One set of beings that appears, because they didn't differentiate about who they were answering about, is earthbound, and one is not. But they create a balance. And there's the feather, the angelic feather and the heart, the physical and the ethereal. One is earthbound, one is not. And Gwyn has come out, hasn't he? Gwyn's come out. Right, I'm going to put Gwyn back in because we need him as an answer potentially. Right, so they're not the same thing. Okay, okay. So is the dark man of the tour that we know to be Gwyn and Gwion and the dark rider the same being? Is the dark man of the tour and the dark rider of the tour the same being? Is the dark man of the tour and the dark rider of the tour the same being? Is the dark man of the tour and the dark rider of the tour same being? The first card we got out with the Nine of Cups, so that's usually a yes card, but we'll keep going. Are the dark man of the tour and the dark rider of the tour the same being? Or the same beings? The twos are coming up. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so the Dark Rider of the Tour and the Dark Man of the Tour. This is a yes card, the Nine of Cups. Someone who has, there's so many twos, which is exactly what Gwyn said, that the Dark Man of the Tour is him and Gwion. And look, we've got two doves, two of wands, two of pentacles. We've got eternity going round and round, the figure of eight, the infinity symbol. Although, again, an earth symbol, pentacles, earthbound. We've got the two of wands here, which again can be a fiery, creative force in this deck. But we've also got the Knight of Swords and the Four of Swords. So the order we've got it in is someone, the Nine of Cups is someone reaching the pinnacle. It's usually in the Rider-Waite, someone who's content, someone who has, it's usually a woman particularly who has reached contentment and done the work on her own. It's the pinnacle of achievement and contentment, having everything that you need and more. So this came out first. So Dark Rider and Dark Man are the same. Two beings have got everything they need and more. The Knight of Swords, the Knight of Truth, the Knights coming in. This is Knight in Shining Armor vibes. Rest, Four of Swords, rest and recuperation. Two of Wands, two of them, protection, fiery start, two of Pentacles, going round and round earthbound. Okay, so I think what Gwyn is saying, and look, that Sun card's got a ladder. I think what Gwyn is saying is that he and Gwion are the dark man and the dark rider of the tour. and they are in a way doing their penance or doing serving in a way in a role that they were bound to do, but it is their path to ascension, both of them. They're paying their dues, which Gwyn has said before as well. Um, okay, but they're not the same as the angels appearing as bikers. Okay, we got to ask the question anyway. Is Gwyn ap Nwy? They're all coming out anyway. Is Gwyn ap Nwy an angel? Is Gwyn ap Nwy an angel? No. Look. Eight of Swords, bound, can't see a way out, earthbound. This is this vibe that he was kind of trapped by the curse Arthur put on him. He had to pay his dues. Um, but there's a release, and he says now he's retired. So he's achieved what it is he needed to achieve. He's served in the role that he needed to serve in. And that has come out with the Three of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups. He primarily helps women. I know men have seen him as well. And that release. So he's working with others. That's emotions, heart-centeredness, working with women and helping them and him find the way out. Right. Okay. And yeah, that's a definite no. Five of Pentacles being outside of. So, right. So, Gwyn is definitely not an angel. I could have answered that for him, but we had to ask. Okay. He's a teacher. He's saying it again. I'm a teacher. You are. Right. Okay. So, why are angels appearing as bikers then? Why are angels appearing as bikers? Why are angels appearing as bikers? Why are angels appearing as bikers? Why are angels appearing? It doesn't want to answer. Are we asking the wrong question? Gwyn says you're asking the wrong question. Are the beings Laura Byrne is seeing as bikers angels? Are the beings Laura Byrne is seeing as bikers angels? Are the beings that Laura Byrne is seeing as bikers angels? Are the beings Laura Byrne is seeing as bikers angels? It's conflict. There's a grief here. Are the beings Laura Byrne is seeing as bikers angels? So again, we've got the two, and she said it was Michael and Gabriel, didn't she? So we got the Hermit come out as a process. Now the Hermit is an angel, and there's two crows, but a process. So it's not a definite yes. Is that sometimes? Because there's angels, but there's also crows. Sometimes there's a conflict. There's a healing from heartbreak, moving on with the two, and the underlying is a Six of Cups, nostalgia for the past. And this specifically can be grief sometimes as well. I wonder, that's almost a little bit of a personal thing, I think, for Lorna. There's obviously some grief there potentially. I wouldn't really want to go too much into that. But I would say there's this two coming up again. There's two birds there. There's two birds there. There's two birds there. So there's a conflict between. So I would say not always. the bikers she sees are not always angels, potentially. Um, okay. Um, okay. Uh, why? Why are archangels appearing as bikers when they're so closely linked to the dark man? Why are archangels appearing? Same cards. Why are they appearing as bikers? Why are they appearing as bikers then? Why are they appearing as bikers? So we've got the Page of Swords, um, messages in the air. So as messengers, bringers of truth, there's the path. He's almost wearing biker boots, though. I know he's a knight, but she specifically talked about the boots. So they're arriving as messengers. I've just realized he's a magpie messenger. So right. They're appearing as messengers of truth. The moon. That's interesting because she also said that sometimes Archangel Michael appears to her, or is it Gabriel? I can't remember which one she said, appears as coming out of the moon. And then there's this conflict and this heartbreak again. But then there's truth and stability. It's almost as if they need to appear in that way to be accessible, to lighten the mood. But there is this conflict. What's this conflict situation? What's this conflict? Because we could read this. What's this conflict? Oh, I forgot to take the underline card out. What's this conflict? The lovers. Swans mate for life. Contracts, partnerships, conflict. Is there a conflict? And the same thing. It's trapped in the tower and the conflict and the partnership. It's it's again the same card. The Nine of Cups could be read as enlightenment. Could be. Why are they appearing as bikers? We could almost read this as the cards telling us that we don't want to know. So the news is unseen, is a mystery, because there's a conflict between the partnership between us and them, that the truth would break our heart. And that's stability, but that can also be miserliness, or there's a practical reason. Shocking, surprising. It's almost like that's us, earthbound, and there's the angels up there. Hmm. This is very odd. This is very odd. Um, they don't want us to know, and that's what Gwyn was saying. He was saying, don't read on this. Why don't they want us to know? Let's ask the Mary Magdalene cards. Sorry, there's something pinging on my computer. Um, why don't they want us to know? Why don't the angels want us to know why they appear as bikers? Why don't they want us to know? Gwyn's saying God moves in mysterious ways. Thank you. So funny. Um, the heart, I carry a cathedral within me. Love never ends. And the underlying card is all exists through love. This is a sense of there's a sense that we create how they appear to us. Gwyn is saying, not when I do, not when I appear as the rider, but he likes Bon Jovi and motorbikes. He does make me laugh. But it's almost as if angels specifically, they appear to us. Oh, it's just made sense. Why we don't want to know. They don't want us to know. They don't want us to know their true, the way they really look. It says they appear how we need them to appear. They appear how, next card is angels. I've never been alone. They're always with you. They're always with you in various forms. Let's look at the forms that they're in. There's no actual angels in that card, I don't think. They're just clouds and I think there's this sense of them appearing to us how they need to appear. And that has reminded me of the kind of biblical references to how angels look as these kind of spinning discs of eyes. And no man can look upon them without going mad or can't comprehend it or whatever. I wonder if this is what they were saying, that you don't want to know, you don't want to see because it will cause a tower. They have to keep it stable. Ah, okay, let's look at the cards we've got. So there's the messenger of truth, hiding, hide, being unseen, because there would be a conflict and we'd be heartbroken and it would affect the relationship between us if we saw the truth and we have to stay stable. It's because of how they look. They appear to us however we need them to get the best way. It's almost like, right, hang on. Are you saying to us that we we create how the angels appear? We see the angels, how we can process them. We see the angels however we can process them. Same cards. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Same cards. This isn't the same card. So the Queen of Swords, the the fair judge. Um, she's got butterflies. So they were using butterflies as a metaphor for angels, weren't they? So she's got angels all around her. She's receiving the message. She's holding the sword of truth. So we can say the angels bringing us the truth to us of the Hierophant. This is, you can say this is the organization of the church. There's a conflict. There's a conflict that is hidden. And again, I I they hide how they truly look. Strength and awakening, and the underlying card is the message, the path. And again, we've got the lion. It's more important that we follow our path than feel conflicted. But that's not really answering whether we see them how we need to see them. Although this is us, this is the judge, this is the woman at the top, but she's not really a creative card, I would say. It's more like we can't handle the truth. That's how it comes across. We need to stay strong and balanced and evolve. Are you saying that if we saw how angels really looked, it would cause us to struggle to stay on our paths? Is that what you're saying? Oh, I flung one. Where's it? Magician. Well, that's a yes card. And that's conjuring all the things, having everything you need, conjuring it. And there's this being caught up, being restricted and healing. And it's the butterfly again, pinning it down. They can't be pinned down. Hmm. If not all the bikers that Lorna Burns sees are angels, what are they? The lovers again. Two things, partnership. We've got the Nine of Pentacles again. That pinnacle of achievement, but in a different way. But it's got a deer, so it could be Gwyn. Underlying stability. Does she see Gwyn underneath sometimes? Does she? Yes. Straight up, yes. Bingo, he said. Thank you, Gwyn. Bingo. She sees Gwyn underneath sometimes when she sees her rider. Interesting. I wonder if she realized, well, she doesn't realize because she thinks they're all angels. Interesting. Um, didn't really answer them. Well, okay. Can you what pack of cards could we use? What do angels? They don't want me to ask it. What do angels really look like? They don't want me to ask it. Gwyn's saying no. Gwyn says stop. Well, although saying that, that does look like, the wheels and the. But Gwyn's saying that's a classified information. He just said that's classified. Okay. Um, and then yeah, we've got the stability, a process of stability going to instability, and the hand of God withdrawing. So it's almost like we can't see them how they are. We're not allowed, and we're not allowed to know. Okay. Because it would divert us from our path. Our path is more important. Our path is more important. Oh, I'm going to ask a controversial question. Do archangels of the true light have our best interest at heart? Slightly blasphemous. Do they have our best interests at heart? Do they have our best interests at heart? I know it's a symbiotic relationship, but do they have our best interests at heart as part of that symbiosis? Yes. Ten of Pentacles, legacy, happy family, investment, and Seven of Wands. I think that's boundaries. Is it? No, it's not boundaries in this. deck. I'm gonna have to double check. Can't remember what it is in this deck. Slightly different. Perseverance, courage, triumph, and defense. So yeah, they're always with us. Yes, they do. Defending us, making us grow. There's a hand with the eye and the iris growing. So yes, they do always have our best interests at heart. Okay, well that's reassuring, isn't it? I thought I was about to uncover something terrible then. Okay, do any other beings appear as a dark rider other than Gwyn and Gwion and Angels? Do any other beings appear as a dark rider? Do any other beings appear as a dark rider other than people who are actually motorbike riders? Gwyn is Gwyn's like actual bike riders. Yes, and then okay. What are we? Same cards again. Nine of Cups, pinnacle of achievement, Five of Swords, embattled, regret, and a gift from God. Got the Eight of Wands as well. I'm going to check the Five of Swords in this deck because it might be slightly different to the Rider-Waite. Battle, addiction, reconciliation, and healing. Oh, okay. So he's given, right. Okay. So I'd say Ascended Masters, those who are doing penance, like Gwyn and Gwion were, or paying their dues for a bit when they were doing their stint as the Dark Man and as the leader of the Wild Hunt. A gift from God. So messengers, angels coming as messengers, signs from, our higher selves, spiritual signs. And then we've got the Eight of Wands again. This comes up so much in this reading, I'm going to have to read it. This is what life is for, to explode at a white hot core. Fast change. Ah, so in moments, okay. In moments of exhilaration, fast change, and panic. This says to me that other beings also appear as the Dark Rider, almost like Gwyn's saying, the four horsemen of the apocalypse. The horsemen, he said, also can appear as bike riders. So messengers, when there's going to be something pivotal happen, just like people see the Wild Hunt at times of national and global change, moments of significance that would change the world order. For instance, the Wild Hunt was seen, I think it was in the Shropshire Hills at the beginning of the Second World War, just before, like the day before war was declared or that sort of thing. So that's what Gwyn is saying, but he's also saying, right, okay, so what do we've got? We've got ascended masters and angels, he's saying, can appear as dark riders. Those who are doing penance or paying their dues, like Gwyn and Gwion, were, not anymore, he's saying, not anymore. He's served his time. Bless him. Messengers from God. I know that isn't a sign for a messenger, but that's what I'm intuiting and being told. So gifts, signs, they can appear. Helping hand, he's saying, helping hand. And also at times of significant turmoil and change, either nationally or globally, and the four horsemen of the apocalypse, or the horsemen, he's calling them. So, and Arthur Pendragon, in a channel a few months ago, said the horsemen are here, but not for you, he said, which was reassuring. Oh, look, and there I am at the bottom. this in this deck. This is me, the Queen of Pentacles. But I think, this can um this can be us. Look, there's the hare or the white rabbit. That's more a white rabbit, isn't it? We're getting lots of signs of white rabbits at the moment. So this is us sitting there receiving our gifts from spirit and our signs from the Fae, and we're earthbound and we're grounded and doing our thing. Um, and receiving all these messages. Okay, let me ask a question then. Does the true dark ever appear as a dark rider? Does the true dark ever appear? Gwyn's just going, no. Okay. Does the true dark ever appear as a dark rider? Five of Wands, conflict has come out again. Ten of Swords, there are no cards. No, no. They're restricted, he's saying. Is there anything else you want to tell us about that? Why they can't? Or Two of Wands again. Two of Wands again. Let's read what it actually says, because this deck's a bit different and I've got my own meanings for it. But sometimes when things come out that much, they want us to read it. Playing safe, planning and playing safe, but they're almost blocking, aren't they? Those wands are like, they're blocked. They're blocked from it. You've got the sun shining behind the holly, sign of, it's not holly. Why did I say it was holly? That's not holly. It just says they're blossoming wands. It doesn't say what they are. But yeah, they're blocked from it. So yeah, a battle was done. They were defeated and blocked from appearing as riders. There you go. If you ever see a dark rider, they are your friend. Your friend indeed, says Gwyn. Okay. Is there any other questions I want to ask about the angels as riders? Oh, the other thing I wanted to say actually about Lorna Burns' YouTube video about Rare for Archangels, where she talks about them appearing as dark riders. She also talks about when they come out of the moon and them coming out of like a slit and it opening and it being like a slit and the light is pouring through it and she can see this like a blinding light behind it, and then they step through it. And this also really resonated with me because Gwyn a couple of months ago um was walking with me in like in journeying, like half sleep. I was half asleep and half awake. And he was walking with me and he was holding my hand and we were in the darkness. We were on like earth. It was nighttime. And then he opened, just like she described, a slit where behind there was blinding light, and he pulled it open enough and gestured, told me to step through. And I stepped through, and then he reached his hand through and held my hand. So I was standing in the blazing light, and he was standing in the dark, and we were holding hands through this slit, exactly like Lorna Byrne described, which is really interesting. What is the slit? Shall I ask? I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask my pretty and preciouses, my magical hours tarot. What is the slit that Lorna Burns see the angels come through and that I saw? Because I'm convinced it's the same thing, and that I went through with Gwyn holding my hand through. What is the slit? What is it? What is the slit? What is the slit? Well, that one came hanging out. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Wow. I love that card. So what came out was the Ace of Wands, uh, a creative fresh start, this could also symbolize enlightenment. I know it's a beginning of a journey, but the wand, the staff of wisdom, I think it was Arthur said the other day, it was Arthur or Gwyn, was it? It might even have been the Oracle of Delphi, when I channeled her the other day. One of them, I never remember what they've said properly, but in my head, I'm sure maybe it was the Oracle of Delphi. She said, strike your staff upon the ground now, um, to be like the ringing of the bell, the beginning of the new age. The beginning, she said, welcome to the beginning of time. Strike your staff upon the ground now. And this is the staff. This is us holding the staff. This is almost like us, the gift of enlightenment, Gwyn is saying. So what is the slit? The slit is the gateway to the higher realms. And this came out and it spun like this as it came out in this direction. And then, and look at that. It's a mermaid. And I don't know if you read my Substack, but I had a Mero dream a few weeks ago that was about facing our shadow selves and not being afraid of our shadow. And in my dream, I met a Mero. So this is really interesting that this mermaid card has come out. And obviously the Two of Swords, this is decisions. This is a gateway. This is a choice point. So, but it came out like that. So a transition, a choice point transition. So what is the slit that she sees and that I saw and that I stepped through? It is the gateway to the higher realms, the choice point, the transition point. It's the portal. Wow. And the underlying card, which I love. Look at all those crows. Love a crow. It's the Nine of Cups. It's having all your ducks in a row. It's having everything. It's having everything you need, more than enough. That's what that slit is. That's what that portal is. It's everything that you need. Wow, that's given me shivers. Gwyn's like patting me on the shoulder there, then having attack of the vapors. Oh, that's so funny. He does make me laugh. Oh, look, and the card underlying that is the High Priestess, the Keeper of Mysteries. She's quite angelic there as well, isn't she? She's turning into water and pouring back down to the earth. I once heard a channeling. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Anne Tucker channeling angels years, ages ago. And she was saying how water, when it's in the sky as clouds, is really sad. That's what they were telling her. And that when it rains and hits the earth again, they're like in joy because water wants to be in contact with the earth and in contact with humans. It's consciousness. It's almost like it's raison d'etre, its purpose for being is to be working with us down here. And it doesn't like it. It's a bit melancholy when it's clouds. And that's what that reminds me of. The water pouring back down to the earth to fulfill its purpose. Love that. Oh, love these cards. Love these cards. And the next card, the Empress. The divine feminine, the mother, the nurturer. In charge. Lovely. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little aside reading. It was certainly interesting, wasn't it? Um, Angels aren't normally my forte, but they're coming in a lot at the moment. So yeah, perhaps we will end up trying to contact them. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, have a lovely weekend and I'll see you again soon.